Hey, Ohio sports fans, and all my other fans of any other teams out there. If you're a first time viewer, I want to welcome you in. If you're a returning viewer, I'm always glad to see you. I'm always glad to see all my fans that want to come out and check out my shows. This is the OB Sports Talk Show, and just welcome in. You know, we've been breaking down baseball, the MLB season, and we're on to the AL West now. We only have two more divisions to cover, the AL West and the AL Central, which I decided to cover last because I'm an Indians fan. So I figured why not start with my favorite teams last. So that's what we're going to do. So today we're going to break down the AL West. Really kind of an interesting division this year. A division that you could see about three teams that could really make a run at this thing and win the division. Starting with the Los Angeles Angels. One of the guys that I noticed that they brought in to help this pitching staff is a rival. I thought he was with Baltimore, but he's actually with the Angels. Is Alex Cobb. You know, he comes to this team and he's trying to provide. Another guy's trying to provide leadership for this ball club, especially the pitching staff. They also brought in Alex Caledo, Jose Iglesias, Rafael Iglesias. They have him as well. Jesse Chavez, John Jay, Juan Lagarius, and Kurt Suzuki, and Jose Catana. So they brought in a lot of guys to kind of help them, a lot of veteran guys to help them at different areas in offense and in the pitching staff. But let's look at their offense first. Their offense is they got Albert Pujols. But the thing is we really want to know is how much does Albert Pujols have left in the tank? Kind of seems like every year he's kind of injured and misses a lot of playing time, and his numbers have kind of gone down a little bit. So how much does he have left? And then maybe by bringing in a guy like Anthony Rendon could take some pressure off him a little bit more. You know, Mike Trout and Justin Upton kind of help with that. So maybe bring in a guy like John Jay, Juan Lagares, and Kurt Suzuki. They could help take a little bit of pressure off of Albert Pujols, and maybe he'll be more productive. They need to get something from Jared Walsh and Shohei Ohtani, who is going to play both ways, pitching and on offense, which will usually play DH when he's not pitching. They're going to be one that's going to try to contribute to their offense success, and they're going to score some runs. They got some guys that can drive in runs. They got some guys that can hit home runs, and a battle between the catching position with Max Stanzi and Kurt Suzuki. So kind of interesting to see who wins that battle and starts on a regular basis. They go with the veteran guy like Kurt Suzuki. I think they kind of will. So they have offensively, they have what it takes to get it done in this division. The rotation, like I said, they have Alex Cobb, who's going to be a veteran guy that's going to come in. But what does he have after having a kind of a mediocre season in Baltimore? What's he going to do for a team like this? Jose Catana, he's had some good years, and he's going to try to provide some of that leadership as well. He needs to do what he needs to do best, but he's never had more than 13 wins in a season. But he can be very dangerous. He's shown it for when he was with the White Sox, a little bit with the Cubs. But he's got to get over that threshold where he wins more than 13 games. They're going to need more than 13 wins from him. Dylan Bundy comes in here as well, who has soft contact, low walk rate, so he doesn't walk a lot of guys. And Griffin Canning, a changeup and a curveball that helps him command his fastball. So they've got some young pitching. Andrew Heaney's another guy you might see out there with a hard sinker and changeup. His changeup has to be more consistent, makes more consistent. So when his changeup is on, it's consistent. Like I said, Ohtani is going to be the other guy that's going to see some pitching action. He's a dual threat. Like I said, he's a hitter and a pitcher, and should be able to cut loose after elbow surgery, so hopefully he can provide that for them. You may see a guy like Patrick Sandoval and Jamie Barter both could squeeze in and see some action late in the season, early in the season, depending on if somebody goes down with injury or guys aren't ready to go yet. Bullpen, they brought in Rafael Iglesias, who used to be the Reds. He's a closer. He's a reliable 3-pitch max, helping lead the Reds in saves the last 4 years. So he comes to the Angels trying to master that again. Mike Mayers, a new cutter, key increased in the strikeouts. This is their bullpen, guys. Felix Pena, grease confidence and change up possibly a future starter. So he's got the potential of maybe coming in and see some long relief opportunity to maybe get a spot start here and there. So they have a good, solid pitching staff as well. It's just what are they going to get from some of these guys that they haven't got over that threshold of getting a certain amount of wins, or is age going to catch up with these guys? Injuries going to come up with these guys? That's the key. Players to watch. A pitcher by the Reedy Demeters, a right-handed pitcher, and Brandon Marsh and Jordan Adams, both outfielders. So trying to see what they can do. Possibly they may see some action a little bit here, depending on what happens with some of these other guys that they have up here. They try to bring a lot of veteran leadership to get going. They could turn some heads. But I don't quite see them to win the division. They may need to make a few moves here and there to try to improve that. But they could easily finish second or third in this division, and probably more likely they're going to finish second. That they have a little bit more, I think, than what most teams in the division have. And, other than the Astros, which we're going to cover next, they could turn some heads. So moving on to the Astros, they they brought in Jake Ordozzi, Steve Cisiak, Steven Souza, and they re-signed Michael Brantley. So they made some key moves that kind of helped them. Like I said, they brought back Michael Brantley, and he's going to continue to try to be that leader for them, and he's really already helped them so far to this point. Very good pickup for them when they got him a few years ago. Jose Altuve, you know what you're going to get from Altuve. Probably one of the best hitters around in baseball, and he's continuing to do that and at an alarming rate. And you know what you're going to get from him. He's solid. Probably another 200 hit season, if not more, maybe even 300 hits this season. Because he's that type of hitter. Jordan Alvarez, and Alex Bregman, and Carlos Correa, all guys that have potential of putting up big numbers. Uriel Gurriel, Kyle Tucker are another two guys that can provide something for them. So they've got pretty much a good, solid offensive punch. And they brought in Dexter Fowler. The thing is, how much does he have left? That's the interesting thing for them too. Is how much has he got left in his arsenal? The rotation is led by Zach Greinke. He has a changeup, and his curveball is elite stuff. Framber Valdez, curveball is key to his success and his solid. He has a solid K rate. Lance McCullers Jr. is coming off of Tommy John surgery. So how good is his curve? Is his curve going to be sharp? Since he's been off. But he has been very good at Minute Maid Park, so that's kind of a plus for them. And they got a guy that's pretty good in their own home ballpark, so that's good. Jose Ugarte, mentally tough than most. Christian Javier, low 90s fastball, sweeping slider, make him more tough on right-handed hitters. We'll fill the void until Justin Verlander comes back, who they think is going to come back mid-season, assuming he is the same pitchers before. You're going to know what you're going to get from Justin Verlander. Another guy that's going to provide that ace type stuff. But they have to. How is he going to come back? That's the key. And it won't be until mid-season to get him back. So they got to hold. The rest of their starting rotation's got to hold up a little bit until he comes back. Their bullpen, Ryan Presley is going to slide the closer role. He has a solid 3-pitch slider. Is his bread and butter. He relies on a slider, and it's a good one. So probably one of the best in the game right now. Kind of that kind of good stuff. And only Pardes, fastball slider combo, effective against left-handers. So that's kind of key when you can get good left-handers out. It makes all the difference in the world. Blake Taylor breaks bats with his 94-mile fastball. Steve Chesak and Jake Ordez are veterans with experience. Will help this ball come some way. So Ordez might be a guy that kind of slides their start rotation as well. We might try to use him in the bullpen a little bit too. Who knows what they're going to try to do. Like I said, they might just try to fill a lot of different voids here to try to keep afloat till they get Verlander back. But Jake did have a very good year with Minnesota in his time with Minnesota, so that fares well for them. Overall, they got a good team with solid offense and good pitching. And prediction is they're going to finish first in the division. There's just no way around it. They just got. That's just how good they are, all around. Oakland A's. They brought in Pete Cozen. They benched Moreland. They re-signed Petit. They got Romeo. They re-signed Mike Ferris and the Judge Lowry and Elvin Andrews. So they brought in some guys and they re-signed some guys that's going to help them. Nat Olson, Matt Chapman, Mark Canha, Ramon Lorero are their heavy hitters, the guys that provide the most stuff for them. How much are they going to miss Chris Davis? They lost Chris Davis, was a big key to their blow to their team, losing him, letting him walk and go somewhere else. Mitch Moreland will try to come in and do that. Ellis Andrews, they're going to try to come up and kind of maybe split that void that Chris Davis would have provided for them. The rotation, Mike Fiers re-signed with the A's, and he's a veteran guy. Jesus Luzardo, inconsistent last season, made too many mistakes with his off-speed stuff, so he's got to get better there. Chris Bastet has been pretty much lights out on his Tommy John surgery in 2016. 3.29 ERA, 8.4 Ks, and they start. Frankie Montana's lost feel for split single last season, so hopefully he needs to find it again for success. So what's he got going on? Sean Manasseh, a wipeout slider. Made in a process. You know, he's got a change to go along with that. Dalton Jeffries is a guy that could end up getting a starter earlier, late in the season. He's a former Cal Bears, climbing through the rank minors. 11 Ks per 9 loss, 1.05 WHIP. So he's pretty solid. Their bullpen, Jake Dingman's got the closer, command of midnight heater. Lucho Rivero, fastball and cutters effect, but needs to improve versus left-handers. J.B. Wilkington has mid-90s heat, but uses 4 pitches sequence to keep it hard hit rate down, so he's solid. Petit Romo hoping to provide that veteran leadership, that depth and experience to the pen, and they're guys that have been pretty good over the years. AJ Puck, a guy left-hander, Nick Allen, and Robert Parson are guys to watch for them, and they're gonna they have the potential to strike fear the division, but I don't think they're gonna have enough, and I think they may probably finish third in the division. I originally had them down as fourth, but the more I think about it, I think they can finish third, despite not having Chris Davis, and I'll get to more of that a little bit later. Seattle. They did bring in Ken Giles and James Paxton again, Ronas Elias and Rafael Montero. So they brought some guys in that they think they can help them. Mitch Hagger, Kyle Seager, and young guys like Dylan Moore and Kyle Lewis, Evan White will look to carry this offense, but will it be enough to help them win? You know, and that's the bottom line. They play in a tough division, and you know we don't know what they're going to get from them. James Paxton, like I said, is back. You know, he had a very hard season with New York, and will he find himself because he's back in Seattle? Maybe he'll refine himself. Marco Gonzalez has a heavy sinker. That's his bread and butter, and it's near the top of wins in ERA, so that's solid. Yusuke Kuchuki, mastery of the new cutter, and a guy they got brought in, and outlook for a big step forward. Justice Sheffield, the guy they got in the Paxton trade, he led AL and rookies in quality starts, controls many lefties with dive bombing slider. So a guy they got to get production from him. Justin Dunn will compete for a spot. Chris Flexen will compete for a spot. So they got guys that can compete. They got guys that can play tough for them. But will it be enough in this? And their bullpen is where it gets kind of scary. Because other than Ralph Montero and Kendall Giles, they don't have a lot of guys with experience. Montero will close. He's got a 97 mile for a fastball. Kendall Graven coming off Tommy John surgery, so what does he have left? He's probably going to pitch out of the bullpen because they want to try to use him a little bit. And use him that way a little bit so we not put too much pressure on him. Anthony Niswick, cutter heavy. He keeps righties in check. Ken Giles, like I said, is a veteran. He's going to try to provide that leadership experience. They could see some closing opportunities as well, late at times to kind of spell Montero. Elias, he may pitch out of the pen and he may seem as a starter. They don't really. I think they really don't know what they want to use him as right now. Overall, this team, they may have potential of shocking everybody, but they will need a consistent pitching and hitting since it's not a great team. Might maybe make a move late run. Players to watch: Kyle Lewis, Jared Bahiri, Julio Redozo, Logan Gilbert. Their prediction: I think they're going to finish. I think they're going to finish towards the bottom of this division. I just don't think they have what it takes to get it done quite yet. I think they're kind of stuck in neutral and maybe a rebuild type of time of year for them. Which leads me to the last team in this division, and that's the Texas Rangers. They brought in David Dahl and Chris Davis, and Dane Dunning and Nate Lau. Joey Gallo, Chris Davis, and Falfa and Odor will provide the offense, but how much can they really? How much damage are they really going to do on offense? Because guys like Calhoun, Lowry, Guzman, they all can provide stuff, but they're going to need everybody up and down this lineup. Chris Davis basically gives them a little extra oomph in the power department for this offense, and they may score a lot of runs. But the problem they're going to run into is with their pitching. Kyle Gibson is elite slider. Last year he was the highest in the AL with 1.53 WHIP. Jordan Lyles comes in here, seldom misses bats or contact, a 92-mile fastball. Dane Dunning, promised guy who locates hard sinker and comes out of the tunnel like his fastball, so that's good for them. Arhara develops into a durable performer in Japan. Has half a dozen pitches that they can go from. So that's pretty solid when you got that many pitches. Kobe Alhara, a first-round pick, 2015, lacks fastball speed, so that could hurt command to set up his changeup. Mike Fulowski, the veteran, may try to sneak in a rotation to provide leadership, and they're going to need that, even in their bullpen, in their start rotation, and even their bullpen. So a guy like Jose Lucero will be the closer. He can keep hitters off their game with his 94 fastball. He's come back after an injury in 2020, so that's how good is he going to be. Jonathan Hernandez, a valuable piece that could be durable, feel for his high 90 sinker. Joey Rodriguez, regression is likely, but he needs to refund his changeup like he did in Japan. Taylor Hearn bounced back after his Tommy John, after his elbow injury in the 90s with fastball and an average slider and occasional changeup. He's going to need all three of those pitches. Players to watch: a guy like Tavares, Dane Dunning, who might get some opportunities to start, and Josh Jwong, the third baseman. Overall, I don't think they have enough. I don't think they have enough to compete. Not enough pitching. Trades may come as I think they're going to unload players, looking to try to maybe restart, refresh, start all over as a ball club. So really, I think what it's going to come down to in the AOS is you're going to have, I'm going to change it up from what I originally have. I'm going to have the Houston Astros 1, the Angels 2, Oakland 3, and those two teams, watch those two teams. Those two teams could either be second or third. And I'm going to move Seattle down to 4 and Texas 5. I just don't know what you're going to get for Seattle. Now, see, those, they could be tight for second place between the Angels, Oakland, and Seattle. Texas will finish last for sure. I think it's going to go that way, though. The Astros, the Angels, the A's, Seattle, and Texas. But it's going to be close with those top three teams pushing to the Astros a little bit for second place in that division. So there you have it. Am I off base? Am I right? What do you think? I love you guys. Hear what you guys think as we talk about this and break it down here. And as always, I share my videos. Like my videos, share them with people, and let's interact with each other, have some good times, and get these out there to many people. All right, guys, I've got to get on out of here. I got things to do. So I know you got things you want to get done and get going to. So let's get on out of here. We'll be back here next week to talk about the AL Central. Have a great night, guys. This is Obi out.